So this is a brief video covering the track day at Brands Hatch that we did this week, and it's just been used in preparation for the race we have on Saturday. And so you can see there's a fair selection of different types of cars. There's Porsches, Caterhams, some racing cars as well. There goes quite a nice Megane, I think it was. So we had a good variation, which is good and bad, because some of the road cars were slower around the corners but then much faster on the straight, so they could be a bit of a blocker, but it's fair enough, it's a track day. So I made a couple of mistakes here. The Caterham had just overtaken me, and I thought I'll try and keep up with the Caterham, and then got a bit out of shape going around Graham Hill. I had an absolutely massive slide around Paddock Hill Bend in a later session. But this one coming up to Paddock Hill, I was just trying various lines around the corner, and I came down here, and I believe there I exceeded the track limits, which played into the whole thing later. So if we watch that in slow motion, if you watch the way the camera judders as the tyre is on the curb, and then it's smooth, and then it comes back onto the curb again, so you can see that I'm pretty certain that I did exceed track limits there. So this turned out to be my fastest lap. So you can see I've started here because the key to the fastest lap is getting a good line and speed round clearways. And so I'm now coming up to the start-finish straight, right across to the right, close to the pit wall. Apparently it's faster because there's slightly more downhill at that point. So I got really good speed through Paddock Hill Bend. We'll have a look at the telemetry a bit later. Came out just wide enough onto the curb, but not onto the green. Now I was V'ing off this Druids. I tried various things, but V'ing it seemed to be the way it worked for me. Now Graham Hill Bend is a real mystery to me, because you turn and brake, and it's quite difficult to do Graham Hill Bend. Then we're coming up to Surtees. You can get round Surtees absolutely flat out in fourth. There's a bit of a bump, but it's okay. Braking up here and then turn across, and you can't quite see the apex there because of the edge of the seat, but you basically turn right across into the apex and then go out wide. If you can stay in slightly tighter as you come around clearways, you do save some time, because obviously you're doing fewer meters as you go around the track. That resulted in a lap of 1:01.75. It was 7:4.56, I think, or something like that, but 75. So I was very happy with that versus last year, when my fastest lap was 1:03.94. So that's 2.2 seconds off my fastest lap from last year. We were lucky enough to have a young professional driver with us, and he drove the car to sort of give a benchmark. So his lap is in red and mine's in blue. So you can see that they're very similar, but I've lost quite a lot of time. So this is Paddock Hill Bend, although my speed and profile around Paddock Hill Bend is different, I come out faster. So that gains me some time, but then into Druids you can see not so good, so I've lost quite a lot of time there, which I then seem to make up until we get to Graham Hill, which is a bit of a nemesis for me. So I come out of there slower, and then it looks as though the whole thing for me is clearways. And I did have a discussion with them, with the semi-professional driver and with some of my fellow teammates, about going around clearways, and I think I'm trying to square it off too much. They tend to take more of an elliptical sort of route round clearways, and I'm trying to square it at the turning point, then turn across the apex of clearways, and then just go hell for leather for the sort of outside, let it wash out to the outside as I come out of clearways. I think that's where I'm losing time. So I'm not going to be able to correct this in the qualifying because I don't want to do anything risky, that's very different in qualifying tomorrow, Saturday. But what I will do is during the race, I will try to experiment with doing a slightly more elliptical approach around clearways.